All right, for those of you who are just joining, oh, Deborah, you know, you've been here. One heavier weight and two kind of lighter weights. Your heavier weight can be anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds or to 10 to 20 pounds. And your two lighter weights, 3 to 5 pounds. And Maureen, you don't need to worry about lighter weights unless you have something. Okay. You can just eliminate the lighter weight ones. Okay. All right. It's 10:01. Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started. If you came last week on Wednesday, you'll recognize the warm-up. It's the same. It'll be the second workout out of 6. So all 6 from now on will be the same warm-up and the same mobility at the end. A lot of the same exercises, but we put them together differently to kind of make it feel new and fresh. So it won't feel like the other workouts, even though the exercises are somewhat recycled. Okay, I'm gonna mute you guys. Any questions? I heard someone say something. No, we're good. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, since a lot of you are new, I'm gonna go through the warm-up exercises. I want you to do them with me and just make sure you've got it down. You know what you're doing and it feels good in your body. After we go through all of these, I'm gonna unmute it just to kind of see if everybody did all right, if you need any modifications or whatever. So the first, and none of these, there's only one that's a little bit, you're like, well, what is she doing? The first one is a body weight squat. So just to kind of talk you through it, you want your feet a little wider than hip width. You're gonna send your hips back, lower down, and make sure you can see your toes over your knees at the lowest point of your squat. Drive through the heels, pull the glutes in to stand. Keep the spine long, and then just find a rhythm. Hips shift back, drive through the heels, come up. Every time you come down low, try to rip the ground apart underneath your feet. Okay, that'll engage the outer thigh. Keep the low belly in, and then just feel the legs, the quads, the glutes, and the belly. Don't forget about the belly working. Okay, so that's your squat. All right, push-ups are next. There are a couple ways to modify push-ups. One would be an incline, which you'll find me doing in the warm-up. So if you have a chair and you want to incline your push-up, it takes a little bit of body weight out of it. You can also be on the ground. Either way, finding a plank position. So even if you're inclined, you're in a plank position to start. Pull the shoulders down the back, pull the belly up to the spine, and then lower the chest down. Okay, you want your shoulders to continually stay down the back and the belly stays in. Now if you need to modify from here, come down, knees down, up, knees raise, lower, knees down to come up, knees raise. So that's a couple ways to modify or change the push-up, make it a little bit more accessible if you need it to be. Okay, so that's the second one. The third one are called prone raises, which you might also know as dead bugs. Okay, so you start in a tabletop position. Take a minute to make sure your knees are under your hips and your hands are under your shoulders. You're gonna lift and extend one leg back behind you, keeping your hips square to the ground, your belly pulled in, and then raising the opposite arm, and then releasing down low. So finding that full extension of leg and arm, shoulders down the back, long through the cervical spine, and then returning down to a quadruped position. So alternating here. During the workout, you can add your small weights to your hands to add a little bit more resistance to the arms. So those are prone raises or bird dogs, which most of us know them by. All right, this is the one that's like a little bit kind of different. Maybe something you've never done before or seen before. They're called lateral climbers. So you're gonna set yourself up first in plank. Okay, you're gonna bring your right foot towards your right hand. So your knee is in between your arms, but towards the left arm. And then you're gonna bring that left leg out. So your arms and your chest are in plank, but your feet are in this sort of lateral position. You're gonna swing the feet from side to side. Now, if this feels hard, too much on the shoulders or wrist, you can do a step, step, extend, step, step, extend. So different angle here. It's either a little hop to side, keeping that neck long, shoulders down the back, belly pulled in, or it's a step, step, extend, step, step, extend. You can make that step nice and fast. Lots of shoulder stability here in this one, okay? Those are lateral climbers. Last one, on the ground. This is movement preparation. It's not meant to be done fast here. Open the arms up to a T, palms up, extend the legs long. Right leg comes across towards the right, right leg comes towards the right hand, and then back again. Really, this is just to get the hips to roll back and forth. It's a good stretch on the low back. It's a good stretch on the lumbar spine. Okay, and it's really not about that foot meeting the hand. It's really just about that stretch and roll in the hips. Okay, so that is the last one. I'm gonna do them with you, so it's okay if you didn't remember the order or how to do them. I'll talk you through them. I'm gonna unmute just to kind of check in, or you can give me a thumbs up. Oh, I forget, I can't unmute you guys. Thumbs up or unmute yourself and speak up. Okay, I see some thumbs ups. Okay.
Okay.
We have, okay, Linda, you have something?
No, I just said I'm okay.
Oh, you're okay. Okay, good. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, so we're gonna do all 6 of those exercises, 30 seconds, no extra rest between them. We'll go through them twice, okay? And then a lot of these exercises are put into the workout, just FYI. Okay, starting in 10 seconds. Body weight squats are gonna be first. So set your feet up, a little wider than hip, making sure that you're ready to drive those hips back. Here we go, 30 seconds starts now. I like to reach my arms forward. That just feels like a good counterbalance. Really making sure your spine is long, your toes are light, and you're driving through the heels, squeezing the glutes at the top. At the very bottom, keep the belly in nice and tight. Nice long spine through the crown of the head. We have 8 more seconds here, and then we're doing 30 seconds of push-ups. Find a good rhythm. I'm gonna be inclining my push-ups. All right, here we go. Push-ups either on the ground or an incline. 30 seconds has already started. Keep your belly in. Keep your shoulders down your back the entire time. And a push-up, your chest does not have to go all the way down. You can adjust your range of motion. We've got 8 seconds, and then we're doing prone raises, which are also called bird dogs. All right, here we go. On all fours. One arm, opposite leg, extend, reach, belly in, shoulders down, switch sides. Finding that full engagement, full extension, and then switching sides. Nice and fluid and controlled, feeling the glute and the hamstring, and then the upper back as you raise arm and leg. All right, we're on those lateral climbers. Here we go, here's your test, right? Pull one leg in, get your legs situated to the side. You're either hopping back and forth, or you're step, 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 extend, step, 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 extend. Keep the hips low. So try not to let those hips bob up and down. Shoulders down the back. We have 4 seconds, and then we're gonna be on our back windscreen wipers. Here we go. Open up to a T. Hopefully you can see me. There we go. Rolling the hips side to side as you reach opposite foot towards the opposite hand. This is number 6. We go back up to body weight squats. Rolling back and forth. Remembering, this is just movement preparation. No need to go fast. More about the stretch. All right, up on your feet, body weight squats. Making sure you're driving with those hips. Back. Take a peek down. Make sure you can see your toes as you get low in your squat. Make sure that belly stays in, spine stays long. 10 more seconds, then we've got push-ups. 5 more seconds. Squeeze those glutes at the top. All right, here we go, push-ups. I'm gonna be on the ground for this one. Keep the belly in, shoulders down the back, knowing that you can always drop your knees for the entire motion, as long as you've got a nice long line from the crown of the head to the knee. Bird dogs are next. They call them prone raises. And here we go. Bird dogs, hands and knees, opposite arm and leg extend. Every time you extend, belly pulls in, hips stay square to the ground. Nice and control and fluid between sides. And then keep your gaze a little bit down so that the neck is long. 8 more seconds here. And then we have those lateral climbers. All right, here we go. Lateral climbers. Position your feet off to the side, belly in, shoulders down the back. You're either hopping or you're step, 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 extend. So step, 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 extend. There's a couple steps in between. Keep the weight over your hands. Try not to get back here like that. We're on our back for windscreen wipers. All right, on our back. Open up to a T, opposite foot to hand. Just getting those hips to roll, feeling the stretch in the low back. Somehow each time I forget one of the exercises in the workout, the warm-up. So I have one more to show you after this, even though we're done with our warm-up. Okay. That was our warm-up, but I did skip one exercise. I apologize. I'll get it right one of these times. This is the exercise we missed. It's a bridge motion. You can do it with or without weight. And actually, for now, I'll do it without weight. So bridging, right? You're on your back. Heels scoot in towards your sit bones. You're going to start with your arms overhead. You're going to come up, lift your hips as your hands come to your hips. Now, if you had weight in your hands, that weight would be at your hips here. And then you're going to slowly come back down. Scooping the hips up, rolling the spine up, and then the hands come to the hips with the weight or no weight. Okay, so that's the med ball bridge. And I show that to you because it is in our workout. Okay, moving on to our workout. We'll have 3 different rounds. Round 1 and 2 are going to be the same formula. There'll be 4 rounds of each of the 3 exercises. It'll be 60 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 30 seconds. And then you have a break. We move to the next set, okay? All right, so the first set of exercises, there's 3 exercises. You have a kettlebell squat. You do not need a kettlebell, just a weight. And it doesn't need to be a heavy weight. I have 20 pounds, but it could be 10 pounds. And honestly, it could be 5 pounds. Work within your sort of range. And you're gonna bring that weight to your shoulder. And you can notice that the weight is kind of sort of resting just a little bit on my shoulder, okay? This is gonna weight my body one-sided, requiring my core and my hips to compensate. And that's just a squat. So we did the squat and warm up, okay? This will be half time one side and then half time the other side. So this is our first exercise of the 3, kettlebell front squat, okay? And we'll switch sides and I'll let you know when to do that. The second exercise of the 3 is a side plank driver. If you did any of the workouts last session, you know these side plank drivers. Set yourself in a side plank position. Option 1, knee down, okay? Whether you have knee down or up, your shoulders pulled down your back, nice long spine all the way from the crown of the head to your feet. Now you can intensify this by lifting that bottom knee and staggering the top leg back. So again, nice long line, hips are up, I'm gonna bring my free arm, reach it 45 degrees, and then pull it back to center. I'm gonna let my top hip round down, but my hips are gonna stay high, and then back up. This will also be right side, left side, half time, okay? And then the last one, we've already done, prone raises, the bird dogs. Bird dogs, you can add weight to your hands, which I will do this round. So it ends up looking like this, right? There's a little more resistance to the arm. You're working a little bit more on shoulder strength and stability, okay? You do not have to add weight to the bird dogs or the prone raises, okay? So 3 exercises. The first round is 60 seconds, then 30 seconds, then 60 seconds, then 30 seconds. There's no extra break in between, and then we have a minute rest after, okay? Just gonna actually, I won't unmute you, but unmute yourself if you have any questions. Now is a good time, okay? Otherwise, you're getting yourself started with your weight at your shoulder. Okay, starting in 10 seconds, you've got whatever weight you have at your shoulder. Okay, and we're gonna move through some squats. Here we go, it's 60 seconds, 30 seconds on one side, 30 on the other. Now just take note, you know, what this weight does to your squat. One leg has to work a little harder to push you up. Your core has to brace just a little bit more to keep your hips equal and parallel. Keep the drive through the heels. We're almost there to switch. Here we go, switching sides. Make it nice and quick and fluid. Our next exercise, 20 seconds, is gonna be those side plank drivers. So you'll need to get on the ground after we're done here in 10 seconds. Squeeze those glutes at the top. You want that. All right, side plank drivers here. Coming into your side plank position, knee down or top leg staggered. And then get right to it. Reach and pull. Remember, you can always put your knee down. You can even elevate yourself on a chair. We've got 7 more seconds on this side, and then we're gonna try to fluidly flip it around. Go to the other side. Here we go. Switch sides. Top leg staggered back or bottom knee down, keeping that bottom shoulder away from the ear, keeping the hips up, but letting that top hip roll down towards the ground and then pull it back up. After this, we have prone raises, bird dogs, and that will be in 6 seconds. So we'll stay on the ground, all fours. All right, all fours. If you're using weight, grab them, and then get going. Lift opposite leg and arm. Make sure that belly's pulled in, hips stay square to the ground. And then just find that full extension, and then switch sides. Keep going, keep the neck long. Really make sure that the belly pulls in so that you're not ending in this overarching low back. And then just be mindful of the shoulders. When your hand is down, that shoulder's pulled down the back. We have 20 seconds still. And then our next round is 30 seconds of each exercise. So round 1 is almost done. We have 6 more seconds here, and then we're back up on our feet with our weight at one shoulder. All right, here we go. Nice and quick. 30 seconds this round. So only 15 seconds with it on one side. Not too much time, so you want to get right to it. I am sweating. Hope you are too. Switch sides. Goes a little bit faster with the 30 seconds. We have those side plank drivers next. All right, here we go. Side plank. And honestly, if these are difficult for you, holding a side plank is great. You don't have to have any movement if you're feeling like just holding the position is tough. You can also add a small weight to your hands if you're wanting to intensify it. You add weight though, switch sides. Make sure that you've got fluid, controlled movement. We have bird dogs next, so we'll be on all fours. Here we go. Switching it, all fours, grabbing your weight if you're using it. Getting right into it. So we're ending round 2 here. Round 3 is back to our 60 seconds. Make sure that belly pulls in as you lift. 8 more seconds. Then we're back on our feet. 60 seconds of single-sided front weight squats. All right, here we go. Round 3 just started. 30 seconds. Make sure you're leading with the hips. Those hips are shifting back like you're going to sit in a chair. Almost there to switch sides. 5 more seconds. Here we go, switch sides. Keep that belly in. And remember, your range of motion might be different than mine, so you can find some more shallow squatting, and that is certainly acceptable. Listen to your body. 10 more seconds here. And then we're doing the side plank drivers. 30 seconds to each side. Here we go. On the side, set it up. Find a good pace. You've got 30 seconds, less now. Add a weight to this one. Keep that bottom shoulder pulled away from the ear. Lots of shoulder stability here. 8 more seconds, and then we switch sides. Keep those hips high. All right, switching sides. 30 more seconds. And then we have bird dogs. Remember, you can drop that knee if needed. Sometimes one side is not as strong as the other. Being okay with that. And adjusting as needed. Boy, I can feel my shoulders here. Almost there. 2 seconds. All right, bird dogs. This is ending of round 3. We've got one more round after this of 30 seconds each exercise. And we get a little break. And now that we've been, moving for 3 rounds worth, you might feel some fatigue. So check in and really keep yourself accountable to all the parts of the exercise. If that means slowing down a little bit, slow it down. We've got 23 seconds here. Keep those hips square to the ground. Nice long spine. Shoulders pulled down the back. These 5-pound weights are feeling a little heavy. We've got 6 seconds. Back up on our feet for the squats. All right, here we go, 30 seconds. Make it quick, because we have to switch. Dropping down, driving through the heel, keeping the spine long, switch sides. Side planks are next. Last round of all of these. We won't come back to them until next week. All right, side planks. Set it up, get into it. 15 seconds goes fast. Really work on that shoulder retraction, letting the hips rotate but stay high. Switch sides. We've got bird dogs next. And then you get a 60-second break. All right, bird dogs. Tap into all the parts, belly in, shoulders down, extending in both directions. 10 seconds. Almost there, 5 seconds. And done. Good, so this is your chance to get a drink, towel off, and then come to the screen so that you can see me demonstrate the next 3 exercises. So the next round, same thing, 60, 30, 60, 30, 3 different exercises. There's 2 new ones that were not in the warm-up. Okay. Make sure you can see me, you're at the screen. There's my 20-pounder. Okay. So this next one is very similar to our front weighted squat that we just did, but we're gonna add a shoulder press now. So you're gonna come down into your squat, lift it overhead. Bring it back down, come into your squat, lift it overhead. So shoulder strengthening and overhead stability. Make sure you're not overarching in the back to get that overhead. Keep the belly in tight, especially when you're going up high with the weight. So that's the first one. The second one is the medicine ball bridges, which I skipped in our warm-up. So I will demonstrate those. And I'm gonna use weight on these guys. So I'm gonna put my 2 5-pounders together to have it be a 10-pounder. Start with the weight overhead, heels scooch in, roll the hips up as I bring my weight to my hips. Squeeze the glutes, and then roll the spine down and slowly bring the weight overhead, okay? So that's the medicine ball. We're not using medicine balls, but the weighted bridge, okay? And then the last one is kettlebell row. So you'll use your heavier weight more than likely. The only real tricky thing about this exercise is getting into the right positioning. So hips are slightly wider than, feet are slightly wider than hips. Your knees are soft, but your legs are straight. Hinge at the hips, so my hips are gonna push back so that I can hinge over with a nice long spine, and I'm gonna let my hands drop to about my knees. That's where I wanna be. One side is gonna row up towards my hip or my rib cage, keeping my belly in and my hips square, so no rotation or anything like that. It's just a row towards the hips, keeping all of this stabilized, okay? Those are the 3 exercises. Same formula, starting with a squat press. So you've got 1 weight at the shoulder, starting in 10 seconds. Feel free to unmute yourself and shout out any questions you might have. Okay, weight at the shoulder. Come down into your squat, raise it overhead. Keep the belly in tight, long through the spine, making sure you're shifting back with the hips, driving through the heels. Okay, we've got a minute this first round. So find a pace, and we're gonna switch sides after halfway, which is 10 more seconds. Using an exhale to press that weight overhead will help. It'll help your core engage. All right, switching sides. Keeping that belly in, finding all parts of the squat, and then just adding that overhead press. We're gonna be on the ground for bridges next. You want either no weight or a light weight. All right, on the ground, getting into your bridge position. Weight starts overhead. Let's get the heels in. Scoop the hips up, raise the spine, bring the weight to the hips. Slowly lower down. This one doesn't necessarily do you any favors by going faster. It's more about controlling all parts of the movement. That's what helps us work on our stability muscles. Good. We're over halfway now. So finding that big glute squeeze at the top, even pulling your heels in towards your shoulders as you lower down, that'll help keep you in the right kind of footprint on the ground. We have 7 more seconds, and then we're back on our feet for our single-sided rows. All right, here we go. Back on the feet. Grab your weight. Soft knee, straight leg, hinge at the hip, long spine, hands towards the knees, and then one side. Rows up towards the hip or the lower rib cage. Keeping squareness of the shoulders and the hips. Belly has to stabilize, and you're just using that upper back muscle. All right, switch sides. This is ending round 1. We'll be starting round 2 with 30 seconds of each exercise with the squat press. So we'll stay in the standing position with this weight. Finding that row, kind of feeling that shoulder blade squeeze toward the spine as you row up. Keep that belly in. All right, bringing that weight up to shoulder, squat and press. It's a good transition. It makes us get right into it. 5 more seconds here, that's it. All right, switch sides. John Maureen, that was a fast transition there. All right, med ball bridges are next in 3 seconds. All right, here we go. Grabbing your weight, if you're using it, getting down on the ground and get going. So finding control as you scoop the pelvis up all the way to the top, finding that glute squeeze, and then reversing down. 7 seconds, and then we come back up onto our feet for our single-sided rows. Okay, here we go. Round 2 is almost over. Grab that weight, bent over, long spine, and row it in towards the hip, lower rib cage. Switch sides. 30 seconds. Goes fast when you got to split it. Next round, 60 seconds each exercise. And we're staying standing here, bringing that weight up to your shoulder. Squat press. So we have 30 seconds on this side. Really kind of dialing it in. If you need to slow it down or change your weight, do so. If you have any sharp pain, listen to your body. Otherwise, you're pushing your edge here, right? You want to get tired. You want to feel those muscles. Work hard. Switch sides. Keep that belly in tight. Both the lowest point of the squat and as you go overhead to protect the low back. 15 seconds, and then we're on the mat for bridges. Five seconds. Use your breath. All right, on the mat, bridges. With or without weight, getting right into it. Remembering when you come down out of your bridge, pull the heels towards the body. That'll keep you in that compact stance on the ground. Be really mindful about scooping the hips up and then rolling the spine up. And then doing that in reverse on the way down. Over halfway. And then we're back up on our feet for rows. And that'll be a third round. We have one more round after this. 15 seconds here. Five seconds. All right, let's get up on our feet. Grab your rowing weight. Set yourself up, hinge at the hip, belly in, row towards the hip, lower rib cage. Keep those shoulders down the back. Everything stays square. There's no twisting or rotating. 15 more seconds here on this side. And control the recoil, that dropping of the weight, just as much as the pulling up of the weight. Switch sides. Nice and control, fluid movement. In 18 seconds, we'll start our final round, 30 seconds each exercises with our squat presses. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. All right, 15 seconds, that's it. Each side. Keep that belly in tight. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Breathe. Switch sides. 10 more seconds. And then we're on the ground for bridges. All right, on the ground. Here we go. Well, 30 seconds. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Find control. And as much muscle engagement as possible through that control. 6 seconds. And then we're up on our feet for the rows. Last 30 seconds starts here. All right. Getting right into it. 15 seconds goes fast. Keep those shoulders plugged down the back, belly pulled in, hinging from the hip, long spine, switch sides. Last 7 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Grab a drink, towel off, and then I'll talk you through the last round. Okay, so this last round is a little different. You're gonna get 10 minutes to do as many rounds as you can. So we'll all kind of end up being in different spots. You'll work at your own pace on these. Okay, the first exercise, there's 4 in this round. The first exercise is just a simple lunge. Okay, so you're gonna step forward, 90 degrees, both knees. Step back, keeping hips square, belly in, tailbone points down, drive through the heel, come back to center. You'll do 10 total, so 5 either side, okay? And then you have kettlebell swings. So more than likely your heavier weight, you'll hold from one end if you don't have a kettlebell, which I'm assuming most of you don't. So a kettlebell swing is just a hinging of the hips and a squeezing of those glutes. All of the power comes from the hips, not the shoulders, okay? So you'll be a little wider than hip, more like shoulder width. Your knees are soft, but long legs. You're gonna hinge from the hip, let the weight come between the legs, and then use the hips, squeeze it up. Squeeze those hips. So notice how my hips are pushing back and then forward, back and then forward. It's not a shoulder exercise, it's a glute and hip exercise. Just make sure when you're coming up to that hip extension, you're not overarching. So keep the belly in tight, especially as you push your hips forward to raise the weight. Okay, you're gonna do 10 of those kettlebell swings. Then you have 10 body weight squats, which we did in the warm-up. So it's just that squatting motion, 10 of them. And then you'll do 10, here's where the lateral climbers come in. Okay, so you'll do those 10 lateral climbers just to review. These are meant to get the heart rate up. They're also meant for shoulder stability and core control. So remembering they're here with that side-to-side stepping or the step, 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 extend. Okay, you'll do 10 of those. Okay, right and left is 1. So 20 total if you're going to count each one. I'm assuming the first few rounds will kind of stick together more than likely, but you go your own pace, right? You can go slower, you can take breaks if you need it. I want you to remember how many rounds you get through. Okay, so starting with 10 lunges. Let me get my 10-minute timer. Okay, starting now. 10 lunges, 5 either side. Just loading those legs, stepping back. This is 4, and 4, 5, and 5. And then I'm gonna grab my weight, 10 kettlebell swings. So remember, long legs but soft through the knee, hinge hips back, push them forward. Keep the belly in. This is 3, squeeze those glutes. 6, 8, 9, and 10. 10 body weight squats. Remember, we're going through this as fast as we can. Getting that little squeeze of the booty at the top. After this, those lateral climbers, and then we start again. I have 2 more. Lateral climbers. 10 either side. I'm on 5. Last one for me. And then I'm back up, lunging, 10 total. Kettlebell swings are after the lunges. And we have 8.5 minutes left. Kettlebell swings. So we're probably starting to kind of, spread out a little bit where we are. If you ever get lost, unmute yourself. You can always ask what's next. After the kettlebell swings, we've got body weight squats, 10 of them, and then 10 lateral climbers. Lateral climbers, and then you're back to lunges. Keep those hips low in your lateral climbers. Shoulders down the back. Whew. Good, back to lunges. So hopefully you're kind of got the rotation of exercises. Everything's 10. Kettlebell swings are after the lunges. Make sure those kettlebell swings hinge at the hips. It's about the hips. It's not a squatting motion. Long spine, belly pulled in. Body weight squats are after the kettlebell swings, and then lateral climbers. And my timer went off. Keep going. We have 6.5 minutes left. Lateral climbers after the body weight squat. Whew. Lunges, just under 6 seconds. So we're not quite halfway. I'm not sure how many rounds actually. Maybe that was 4. This is going on 5 maybe. We'll see. We'll see what you guys say. Kettlebell swings are after the lunges. Remember, not a squat. Keep the belly in to protect the low back. Body weight squats. You can always add weight to your squats if you're feeling like you want a little more oomph. All right, we're halfway. Got the lateral climbers next. Knowing that you can always move to a step, a little step between. Shoulders down the back, belly in, hips stable. Woo. And then you're back up to lunges. 4 minutes. After lunges, kettlebell swings. Long spine. Weight comes about to shoulder height only, not higher. Squats are next. Keep going. Now, lateral climbers are next. You have 3 minutes. Alrighty. Now we're getting towards the latter half of this 10 minutes. Dial things in. You're probably starting to feel a little fatigued, which is good, but don't have that come at the expense of your form. So slow things down if you need to. Take a tiny little reset if you need to. Keep moving. That's the goal here. Lunges. Less than 2.5 minutes. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Kettlebell swings. Squats are next. Whew. Minute 30. Ooh, lateral climbers. All right. Whew. All right, we're less than a minute. Home stretch here. I'm sure you can hear me breathing hard. So if you have anything left here, push your pace, find control, keep it moving. You have 30 seconds, all right? If you haven't met your edge, try to find it here. 10 seconds. See if you can get through this next little section that you're in. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you guys. Just curious, did anybody count their rounds? No, I know, I lost. Oh, what'd you get, Deb?
Yes, 6 3/4.
6 3/4. Nice job. Anybody else count their rounds? No, it's okay. I immediately forgot to count my rounds, so I'm sure most of us did around 6. Catch your breath. Grab a drink. We have a mobility section now. Okay, so we're done with the intense workout. Now we want to set up our body to walk out the door and go about our business for the day. So clear your space if you've got, your stuff out. You might need a mat, but that's about the only equipment you'll need. All right. There is just 4 mobility exercises, one of which we actually did in the warm-up, which is those windscreen wipers from side to side with the feet. Okay. The first mobility exercise is in a standing position. See, make sure you've got some space behind you because this is a backward traveling motion. Okay, so I'm going to stand with maybe a few steps behind me. I'm going to lift my left leg high, keep my knee high as I swivel it back behind me, reach back, step back. Bring the right leg high, right? There's a little balancing here. Swing that knee out wide, swivel it back, step back, switch sides. Now this is my last step, so I'll just move forward. I want you to do about 5 more or 4 more, let's say, 2 more on each side. So you're lifting that leg, you're just kind of opening the hip. Lift, open, step back. I've got 1 more here. Oh, I'm running in, there we go. Okay. Next one, you're gonna be on all 4s. So I'm gonna put something under my knees here. Okay, so all 4s. And then, just make sure your knees are under your hips, hands are under your shoulders. We're gonna do some circular motions around our wrists. So we're gonna come to the side. Go round forward with our weight, really grip with the fingertips here as you move to the other side. And then let your hips fall a bit as you push back and around. So you're making these complete circles over the wrists. When you send your weight forward, make sure you're really gripping with those fingertips. And we're gonna do 2 more circles in this direction, and then we'll switch directions. So 1 more circle here. Feel free to shift the hips as well. And changing directions once you get back to the starting point. We'll do 5 the other directions, so you can really kind of get your hips into this as well. Just feeling that full range of motion around the shoulder, around the wrist. 2 more. Last one. Good. Okay. We're going to come into a half kneeling position. So left knee down, right knee forward, or right foot forward. Okay, you can untuck the toes in the back. And then make sure you have a little bit of width between your front foot and your back knee. That'll just help for stability. And then take your tailbone and stretch it to the ground and pull the low belly in. Your right hand can rest on your right knee if you'd like, or the right hip. Inhale the left arm up as you shift your weight forward. So we're going after this whole front of the left leg and then back. So then you'll shift your hips back. Inhale, lift up, keep the belly in. We don't want to overarch in the back. We really just want to open up the front of the hip and then back. 3 more like that. Inhale, connecting it to your breath can help. 2 more. Last one, and then we'll switch our knees. So now we'll take the right knee, put it down however that works for you. You might need to come down onto all 4s or whatever. Making sure you have a little space between the front foot and the back knee. Tailbone stretches down, belly pulls in. Inhale, right arm up. And shift the weight forward. And then back. We're gonna do 5 total. This is number 2. Two more. So really just feeling that stretch across the front of the hip, down the quad. Last one. All right. Coming onto our back. This is the one that we did in the beginning. It just stretches out the low back and the hips. You're coming all the way down onto your back. Arms out to a T, palms up, legs stretched out long. And then we're taking our right foot and just driving it towards our left hand, getting our hips to stack, and then back through center. So just keep that foot low as it comes across the body. And again, it does not need to reach the hand. We're really just going for that rolling of the hips. I want you to do 3 more each side. I got a couple of pops that felt good. Nice and slow. Feeling the stretch. This is our last mobility, so we're done after this. So once you're done, I have 1 more on each side. Coming up off to the ground, slowly and mindfully, and hopefully feeling prepared and ready to go about your day. All right. Thanks for sticking with me, gang. I'd love to hear from you if you want to unmute you, if you want to unmute yourself.